Oh, hey. There's going to be some spoilers in this review, just letting you know. Okay, guys, I know this is a week late, but let's talk about Wonder Woman. Uh, I actually saw this on time. I just didn't get a chance to review it. I actually saw this on the night it came out, and I mean the Thursday night that it came out. I saw it at the Draft House, which is my favorite place to see any movies. And much better than the Regal Theater that I went to tonight to see The Mummy. That one was actually, the theater's fine, but that was a very unpleasant experience that you don't have at the Draft House, because at the Draft House you rarely see kids, and they have very strict rules. If you're causing any problems, you're out of there pretty quick. So yeah, this was a much better experience. I went to the Village Draft House, which has become. I know at Lakeline they tend to do special stuff on opening nights if you're there early enough, but the Village Draft House, which is a little bit closer to me, they have the whole front row in all their theaters has these reclining seats that just go all the way back. You know, and you order some pizza and a Coke, and it's pretty awesome. And so I really enjoyed myself at Wonder Woman, and my sister went with me, and we full on. I had pizza, I had cookies afterwards. It was a good time. It was a party. I was having a Wonder Woman party, you know, and let me tell you, it was fantastic. You've heard all the reviews. It's all true. All the good stuff is true. As far as the negative stuff, I didn't really have much issue with a lot of the complaints about the final act maybe getting a little bit too much like Batman v Superman or something. I didn't see that. I didn't really see that. But I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm going to try to talk a little bit more than that. So Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is not my favorite DC gal. I am a huge Batgirl fan, and sometimes I like Supergirl just as much. On those rare occasions when they draw her certain ways, like I love the Bruce Timm Supergirl, and I love the DC Superhero High Supergirl. I like cute petite type girls. Which is why one of the reasons Batgirl is my favorite, and one of the reasons I'm not too into Amazonian types. But so while Wonder Woman is most guys' favorite girl, or woman, I should say, I go more for the girls, the Batgirl and the Supergirl. But and Zatanna, I love Zatanna. But I have to admit, sometimes I do dig Wonder Woman. Bruce Timm just draws women the way I like, so I like the Bruce Timm Wonder Woman. And again, she's in DC Superhero High, and I do like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. She's more reminiscent to me of some of the animated ones that I've preferred. There was a Wonder Woman movie, I don't know, early 2000s maybe it's not that old, that is an animated film, direct to video, and yeah, I liked Wonder Woman in that one. I like them when they're less, butch looking. I grew up watching Linda Carter, and she was very lovely. I had more of a thing for Wonder Girl, which was her sister, when I was a kid. In retrospect, that actress I'm not super into anymore. Maybe Linda Carter was probably better looking, but I like more the teeny boppers type, But they showed some trailers, some previews, or some clips from a variety of things, including the old Wonder Woman TV show, and yeah, Linda Carter was. I'm pretty sure I did have a thing for Linda Carter at the time also. And that's the main introduction for me to Wonder Woman was Linda Carter, and the Super Friends on Saturday mornings. And then, of course, I eventually was, into Justice League a lot. And I never read the comics. I was aware, of course, I was aware of them. And I know a little bit about the original Wonder Woman comics. I am a comic book reader. If you're new to this channel, I am a comic book reader. But it's Star Wars and Disney. And some random other stuff. And I love superheroes, but I never read superhero comics much. I've dabbled in everything a little bit, and I still do. I still try to. I've read a few graphic novels and stuff, but anyway, but Wonder Woman, yeah, mostly know her from Linda Carter's show and Justice League animated. And I was, but I was super psyched for this movie. I thought the casting from the beginning, I thought that was fine casting, because I didn't want too beefy of a Wonder Woman. I did have somebody picked out, like a lot of people. There's an actress called Alexandra Daddario. She was the only thing I know her from, and I know she's in a lot of stuff, but what I know her from is Percy Jackson, particularly the first one. I've never watched the second Percy Jackson. I have it on my DVD shelf right now on Blu-ray, but I haven't watched it yet. I did like the first. I mean, it was Harry Potter, kind of a Harry Potter ripoff, but yeah, I always thought after seeing the first movie that she should play Wonder Woman, Alexandra Daddario. At the very least, Wonder Girl, but it's too late for that now. I think she's looks too womanly for that now. But yeah, and I still think she would have been amazing. But I mean, Gal Gadot was amazing, and the movie was fantastic. And I'm not going to make this a really long review, because basically I loved everything about it. The climax, like I said, people have complained about the climax and said it was very reminiscent of Batman v Superman. Not everybody. Most people love this movie, but some people have said that's the weak point. And I can go along with some of the dialogue there being weak. And yes, having Professor Lupin as the big, like, buff god of war, was a little weird. He looked a little goofy in some shots, but yeah, I like that actor, so I'm not gonna say anything. He's cool. I love Professor Lupin. But it still worked for me. He worked as the villain. All the characters, the romance was, everything was so well done in terms of keeping Wonder Woman the main character and the hero, and the and doing the love interest stuff without making her seem like the weaker one or anything like that. They managed to, maybe because they have a woman director and she's very good. I mean, I forget what else she's directed. I know she had some good stuff on there, but she handled this movie so well. I mean, she nailed it. She did, as far as the character and just staying true to the character and not betraying the character at any point. From what I know of the character and from what I think the character should be, it's Chris Pine was excellent. The humor was there, which is nice for one of these DC movies. Oh yeah, let me talk about the DC movies just really quickly. My opinion. This is the fourth film. Is that right? Yeah, fourth film in the DC cinematic universe that's not what they call it. I think they just call it the DC multiverse. Is that what they're calling it? I don't remember. But anyway, I call it the DC cinematic universe because it is just their version of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But the first one was Man of Steel, which I grew up an obsessed fan of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, and I was, you know, also an obsessed fan of the 60s Batman TV show and the Super Friends. That was one of the shows I woke up on Saturday morning to watch. So, yeah, I'm always excited for a new Superman, a new Batman. Man of Steel, I had very mixed feelings about, and what I always said was they got about like half of it right. You know, they had action that we never got to see before in a Superman movie, and it was very cool. And they had that was a big part of it, the effects. You know, we never got to see that kind of stuff before in a Superman movie, and it was proper. I mean, it was like Superman quality action and effects. And not that they had bad effects before. Christopher Reeve stuff is excellent. And I love the look of Christopher Reeve, but this Superman looks like Superman, right? This new one, for me, the ideal DC universe is the Bruce Timm animated universe. That's my number one go-to. So anything that harkens to that is what's going to make me say they nailed it. And I know it's not the same as the comics universe, but that's my favorite. And even if I did read the comics, I'm pretty sure, because I've read some of the comics, like I said, I've dabbled in them. The Bruce Timm animated stuff is right up my alley. You know, they nail it for me. So I always want everything to be as much like that as possible, or else reminiscent of like the older movies and stuff. Not necessarily like I love the 60s Batman show, but you know, Batman and Robin was like a huge budget version of that, and I didn't want that, you know. But I'll not get into the other movies. I was gonna say, you know, talk about the Nolan Batman and stuff, but just, you know, focusing on these, because this isn't even about that. It's about Wonder Woman. But Batman v Superman, there were things that disappointed me in Man of Steel, but I didn't hate it. I'm not used to these characters ever killing. I'm used to them being like having a no-kill rule. So that's a thing about this universe that I'm not loving, just because it's not the you know, the way I remember them. But and I know they've done it before, but you know. Like I said, for me, my ultimate version of these characters is the Bruce Timm stuff, Paul Dini and all that. But Batman v Superman, my big problem was that Batman wasn't. I feel like Batman should have been smarter than that, you know, than to be played like by Lex Luthor. To me, Batman is like the smartest guy ever, and that's his superpower to me, you know. And sorry, I need a drink. Oh, I have water. Oh. That's not a drink. Anyway, Batman v Superman. Wonder Woman was the best part of that movie. The worst part was my biggest problem with Batman v Superman is I just don't buy Batman falling for this whole trick and to be manipulated into the things he did. I know, and also, you know, they always make Superman so bleak in this universe, and I just don't. That's not the way Superman's supposed to be to me. But I can still watch that movie. You know, they were disappointing though, because all these movies should be amazing. I've always been an even bigger fan of the DC characters. So, you know, the fact that I've loved pretty much all the Marvel movies and, you know, just kind of had mixed feelings about the DC ones until Wonder Woman, that's kind of sad. I did like Suicide Squad. Not perfect. It wasn't perfect. I don't hate their Joker in Suicide Squad, but I don't particularly... It's not the way I would have done him, of course. Even just a few little changes would have made it a lot better for me. But I enjoyed that movie. I do like that movie. I thought Harley Quinn was mostly pretty right on. I'm not into tattoos, but whatever. They you know, they did their own thing, which I feel like these universes they're making should be the ideal version of what these characters are viewed as, you know. And for me, that's why I love the Bruce Timm universe. It was like the iconic version of all the characters. And that's what I think these movies should be. And I think that that's what Marvel does. They make like the iconic versions of these characters. And that's what I wanted from DC. And they're not really doing that. So, but they did do that here. They did do that with Wonder Woman. They nailed Wonder Woman for me, you know. I'm this is the first one that I'm just like, I loved every second of it. I loved everything about this movie. And it had the humor that the other movies didn't have. Suicide Squad had some humor. You can't say that Suicide Squad didn't have humor and that it wasn't at least 60%, you know, funny when they tried to be funny. Maybe more than that. Some people might say less, but they definitely had moments when they were funny in Suicide Squad. And they had the lines that kind of fell flat. But Wonder Woman was funny. It was funny. It was exciting. It was sexy. It was everything. You know, it had a lot of heart to it. And it just amazes me that it did, like, it hit all those notes without weakening the character even once, because it's so easy to write the female character in the old-fashioned way, you know. But I don't feel like she ever fell into that. Maybe a few people will say, "Oh, what about this part and this part?" And they're trying to find things to find fault with. This movie was just excellent. Everybody knows it. I'm not saying anything new, so I'm not going to prolong this review because you know, I'm just going to say it's awesome over and over again. What am I forgetting? Oh, look what I found. Got this on Wonder Woman Day, which was like the Saturday after it came out. This was free. So was that comic I was reading earlier. These are the girls. These are my favorites. Yeah. Well, I mean these two, but I do dig this version of Wonder Woman. But anyway, yeah. Who am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? There was a comic relief character. There's sort of a that is a of the secretary, I guess, of Chris Pine. She was very funny. My sister pointed out that she was one of the characters from Shaun of the Dead, and I would not have known if she had not told me that. Danny Houston was the sort of the red herring villain, along with this female villain. I forget the name of the character, but oh, well, they were calling her Mrs. Poison or Dr. Poison or something. But yeah, she was pretty cool. She was really freaky and everything. And Robin Wright is back in this movie briefly, and that was pretty cool. She did an independent film like a couple of years ago that was really interesting. It was partially animated, but I can't remember the name right now. But anyway, who else was in this movie? They had a team, of course. It was set in World War I, which was, in retrospect, a good idea because, you know, it was used to seeing her in World War II, but Captain America did that. And, you know, they could have done it anyway. But as it is, it was kind of had those elements of Captain America to it. But this was much more of a warrior movie. It was great. But yeah, they had that little group, the Howling Commandos, kind of a group that Chris Pine put together. And they were great. They were more memorable probably than the I don't know. I remember some of the Captain America ones though. So yeah, that's about it, guys. Had a good time. Surprised that the Draft House didn't have pint glasses for this movie. That was really weird and disappointing. But yeah, I can't wait to. I might go see this one again while it's still in theaters. But I don't know. There's a lot of good stuff coming out, and I can't do more than one movie a week. I think Cars 3 is coming out soon, which my least favorite of the Pixar movies, except for I love all the Pixar movies to some degree. Good Dinosaur might be the worst one they've done, and that movie's still really good when you really sit and watch it. You know, Cars has certain things I don't like about it, but I'm still excited to see it. I still have my Lightning McQueen toys and stuff. I still go see that stuff. And Spider-Man Homecoming, I'm not sure that comes out pretty soon, I think. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out right now. I would like to go see this one again, but I don't know. I haven't been doing repeat viewings of too much. I did see Guardians of the Galaxy at least twice. But yeah, this is the one. This was the one that DC needed. Now we're all going to be going out to see Justice League, all excited. I'm still not confident in the Justice League movie. I'm not. I want it to be awesome, but they do have the director of Avengers and creator of Buffy, Joss Whedon. They do have Joss Whedon coming in to work on that, so maybe that'll punch it up to a good level. Sad circumstances that brought in Joss Whedon, and apparently he's doing the Batgirl movie, which I'm excited about. It's kind of funny because I always really, back in the day, I wish they had used Sarah Michelle Gellar to play Batgirl in one of whatever Batman franchise was going on. And of course that never happened, but I thought Sarah Michelle Gellar in her prime, as far as in her Buffy days, would have been phenomenal as Batgirl. But of course, and that was Joss Whedon's show. But yeah, hopefully he will cast the modern Sarah Michelle Gellar, whomever that may be. But anyway, yeah, it's cool that he's working on Justice League, because maybe he can spruce it up a little, make sure it comes out pretty good. I don't have high confidence for it, but I hope it's good. I really do. I want the DC universe to be good. I love the Marvel universe, but I want the DC universe to be just as good, because I love them both. I want the Universal Monsters universe to be good. I don't know. It's like when Harry Potter came out, and they came out with all these movies that were basically copying Harry Potter. And Percy Jackson was good, but it was also paint by numbers Harry Potter stuff. I don't know. And then Vampire's Assistant, that was pretty good. They never made any more of those. I was really curious to see where the villain in that was kind of cheesy. That kid from I think the kid from Bridge to Terabithia, right? Yeah, Bridge to Terabithia. That was a movie that, remember that? That was like a traumatizing movie. Oh man, Wonder Woman. Cannot recommend it more. It's right. I mean, it's its own kind of movie. I can't really say it's like this or that. It's a superhero movie. It's but it's a war movie, a superhero movie. It's a Wonder Woman movie. It's a perfect Wonder Woman movie. So enjoy it. I'll see you guys later.